Hi, my name is Charles Powell. My son went to war in Iraq twice as a Navy corpsman with the 2nd Marine Division, the old 3-2. On his first deployment, he was stationed on the Syrian border at Camp Gannon. And on April the 11th, 2005, he was operating from an FOB, also known as a forward operating base, outside of Camp Gannon, when his squad and Camp Gannon were simultaneously attacked by a large force personally led by the infamous terrorist Abu Musab al-Zarqawi, known as the Beheader. Here is the actual terrorist video of the attack on my son's unit, hopelessly outnumbered at the forward operating base. Zarqawi attacked the camp and the FOB with mortars and small arms fire while attempting to send 3 truck bombs, a pickup truck, a dump truck, and a fire truck, all packed with explosives past the FOB into Camp Gannon. Now, my son's unit fought valiantly, and all 3 truck drivers, the terrorists, were badly wounded and were forced to set off their bombs at the FOB instead of making it into Camp Gannon. In forcing this action, hundreds of people, hundreds of Marines were saved inside the Camp Gannon, but my son and others there took multiple injuries from the blast. Now, though he was injured, my son cared for the wounded Marines and refused to be evacuated until all his wounded Marines were safely brought off the field of battle. His wounds would have to wait. After a second tour, my son came home from war for good. I say for good. There were an awful lot of problems. He wasn't the man I sent off to Navy basic training and Corps school. He was wounded in his mind and in his soul and in his body from the many effects of war and injuries. Now, he received a bracelet commemorating the attack created from a wreckage of one of the truck bombs, the fire truck. And to him, that bracelet is more valuable than the Congressional Medal of Honor. My son and my entire family have suffered a great deal from the war. It has cost my son and our family more time, more pain, and more trouble than you could ever imagine. I admit that at one low point, during the worst of days, I wish that my good son might have died in those truck bomb blasts so that I could remember him the way he used to be, whole and unbloodied before the war. Eventually, we sought help and a sense of balance obtained through counseling, the passage of time, patience with one another, yes, love, and of course, prayer. Now, years have gone by and things aren't exactly perfect today, but the balance we have learned teaches us that in difficult moments, we should stop and pause, and when we pause, we begin to breathe again. And in breathing, we can pray. And in prayer, we can find a place of refuge in God, far from the sight of death, the sounds of gunfire, the smell of cordite from explosions. God is the shelter against words of hurt and recriminations. God is a place where equilibrium is established and a place where healing, real, true healing, begins.